So tomatoes, are they a fruit or are they a vegetable? I personally don't eat tomatoes, so I don't care. I could be on a Tinder date and this guy could be like, you know what, I don't eat vegetables, but I'll eat tomatoes. Do I call him out on it? Or is he like totally legit? And I don't know if I can trust this person because I don't know if the tomato is a fruit or if it's a vegetable. Things like that really bother me. It's important to know the facts of life. Not just the birds and the bees, but the fruits and the veggies. I don't find them very tasty. I think the consistency is inappropriate. Pomegranates are in season right now. You can juice them, but pomegranates are actually really hard to juice, and that's why white people like them. What can't be juiced? I don't know, but there's probably a Netflix documentary about it. My favorite movie is Dirty Dancing. So the plot of Dirty Dancing is about this girl, and her name is Frances. Just like me, that's my name. And she carries a watermelon, and then she meets Patrick Swayze, and I think this is like the most definitive moment in any film I've ever seen, because she meets him, and she's just so struck by his beauty, and all she says is, "I carried a watermelon." And then he just walks away, and I'm like, that is literally every social encounter I've ever had with a cute boy in my entire life. I could say the line, "I carry a watermelon," but it would make just as much sense as anything I've ever said, like going up to someone and just being like, "Hey," and they'll walk away. I could just say, "I carried a watermelon." I could say, "Here's a tomato." Their reaction would be the exact same, just this confusion of like, "Why are you talking to me? I'm gonna leave." For some reason, Patrick Swayze is charmed by the watermelon line, and he's just like, "Hey, barely legal girl, come dance with me." And then they dance. And it's dirty and inappropriate. And she loves it, of course, because it's Patrick Swayze. It's all really sad because he gets fired because he's being like too cool or something, or too hot. And he goes and gets her. And then they dance on stage in front of everyone, and her parents are just like, whoa, maybe she is the hot daughter after all. And it's beautiful and it's perfect, and that's the end of the film. And the film is all about dancing, watermelons, which are a fruit, Patrick Swayze, and also like being true to yourself and who you are. Some of us are just Jennifer Grey with curly hair and like slightly misshapen noses, but like cute in our own unique way. And we just need a super hot guy like Patrick Swayze to prove it to us that we are. I think that's the plot of Dirty Dancing. I think she finds herself through a man. So now that I'm discussing it, I don't know if that is my favorite movie anymore. I see shows a lot. I've seen this show called Sleep No More over 200 times. And I saw this show called Spring Awakening, the Broadway musical. I saw it 85 times on Broadway, then like 45 times on tour. But neither of those are my favorite show. I think my favorite show ever is this musical that's just opening right now. It's called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. It was written by a guy I like went to school with. And now it's on Broadway. So as you probably can assume, I have been crying a lot about that and just feeling not super great, but like it's cool, like good for him. It's a beautiful show, and it's based on War and Peace, and there's opera, and there's a hot guy ruining everything, which is a constant theme in everything I'm noticing. I've been rewatching Dance Academy. Ethan, the third-year student, he ruins everything for everyone always just because he's hot. There's a problem in the world, and I think that problem is I don't run it. Sometimes I say things just for the reaction. Recently, I asked which of this group was the hot one, and I think it's tearing them apart. And I'm not doing it on purpose or to be mean. I'm doing it because A, I want to know. B, I like to know like who people think they are or how they perceive themselves and how it differs from how other people perceive them. And also, what happens when you get a piece of information that like shatters that perception? How do you rebuild after it? That's usually my thing. And people probably think it's just bitchy. And it is. Like, it's totally self-serving. But it's also like, no, it's not self-serving. I take it back. I'm doing it for the greater good. I'm doing it for them. Because I'm a good friend and a good mother. I have 2 children and a dog. Sometimes I lie. Sometimes I just say things to see how they sound, like coming out of my mouth. I don't have 2 children, as far as I know. I just have the one. No, that's not true either. You see, it just happens like that. So Zachary Quinto and I go so far back. We go back to like 2011. So picture this, West Village, New York City. I was not as cute as I am today. I was seeing a play called The Pride, and it starred Ben Whishaw. I was sitting next to Claire Danes, but next to Claire Danes was Victor Garber, and next to him was Zachary Quinto. And apparently, this was the first day that Victor Garber and Zachary Quinto had ever met. Like, they didn't know each other before. And who do I see outside during intermission smoking together but Victor Garber and Zachary Quinto, looking super flirty, just like really getting along, And I was so excited, and I didn't smoke at the time, but I went out and I was like, this is my perfect opportunity to like become best friends with celebrities, which is my only goal. And you know what I did? I just went out and I was like, hey, got a light? And Zachary Quinto did, and then, but like I also didn't have a cigarette, so he was like, do you have, and I was like, no, I don't. And he had to give me one, which was great. So we had a beautiful thing, and he's like, how are you enjoying the play? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty, it's pretty good. I was trying to be really cool about it, like I knew so much about theater, but I really didn't. After the show, who leaves the theater together but Zachary Quinto and Victor Garber? What? Right? Am I right? That's so mega. And I was there to see it all. I lost the Tom Hendry Best New Play Award. I was shortlisted, so top 3, but I lost. And that's a national award. And then I was shortlisted for the RBC Tarragon Emerging Playwrights Award, and I lost. But that was like top 5, and that was national too. I don't really write the kind of plays that are best, or even that good. They're definitely new, and they're definitely plays, but they don't necessarily look like plays or act like plays. And that's something I'm figuring out because I don't want them to. Anyone can write a play the way we think of a play, so I'm really curious about like, what if we did this, and what if we did that? What if we take away like the framework of a play and make it something different? Is it still a play? Does it still work? Who knows? But we should do it, because like, what's the point of doing the same shit over and over? There's just nothing. So I won this award for Best New Play, which was so funny, because I for sure thought the play was A, super offensive, B, no, actually, you know what? I take it back. I thought it was pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. And then I won a second award. It is the Winnipeg Improv Festival Squad Goals Award, which basically just means I bring the party and everyone loves it. So if I'm achieving things, if I'm like getting recognition or setting a goal and achieving the goal, then I feel fine. And I'm like, great, I'm on the right path. But if I'm not, or if I take a day off, or anything, if I'm basically just not winning constantly, I like downward spiral and collapse on the floor and cry because I feel like I have no value. So this is something I'm working with a therapist about, and it's cool because we do this thing where it's like characters, so you have to name your emotions. It's like the movie Inside Out, kind of. So I have this ambition guy, and he's kind of like an angry football coach, and I named him Steve. And Steve was like 47 when I first met him, when we first like encountered him in therapy. But as we went through therapy more and more, we discovered Steve was actually just like this kid, this like teenage boy who was like just acting bigger and larger to feel important. That like type A personality stuff that I'm working with Steve, that is my best quality and also my worst quality. And how do you like reconcile those and make them useful qualities? Like, how do they balance? When I was 12, these were the men I liked. David Bowie, Alan Rickman, Colin Firth. I think for a very short period of time, Russell Crowe, and I regret that. But that was like what I had going on. These 50-year-old men who knew who they were, they had good jobs, and that's what I wanted when I was 12. And now, do I want that? No, not really. I have a job. I'm fine. This is what I need in a man. Can you cook? I can't. Hope you can, or else we're gonna eat out a lot. Do you have any like marketable skills? My biggest one though is like, do you have survival skills? Just based on the way the world is going, I really think that is what I'm looking for in someone, is like, can you cut down a tree and build a hut? Can you make a canoe out of this birch bark so we can float across the river safely away from the zombies? I've been on Tinder a lot, but I've like trying to scope them out, and I used to hate men with fish pics, but now I'm thinking, no, these are providers. This is what they're doing. Do I eat fish? No. Would I eat fish? No. But man holding a fish is a man who can hold other things. Berries, the severed head of enemies, babies. Flowers are a big thing in my world. Plants in general, nature. This is because I am half Anishinaabe. And that means I'm like one with nature. I'm also Taurus, which is an earth sign. I'd ideally like to have a job that just involved me touching plants all the time. Plants have feelings, maybe. They have names, probably. Not just the names we give them, they probably have real names, like amongst themselves. I have all these like tiny squash pumpkins. I bought them because I hosted a pumpkin carving event. But now it's November, so for December I have some really exciting decorating ideas coming up. It's hard being a Taurus because not everyone appreciates it. Not everyone cares when you're like the beverage you're serving matches your decorations. Everything you do it for yourself, not for other people. You do not decorate your apartment to impress some guy from Tinder. Don't do it. You heard you like the color blue? Don't paint your walls blue just so he'll like it better. It won't work. I need to know where my emotional core is, sort of, and as long as I have that, I can go anywhere and do anything, right? And then when I lose that, I'm just a disaster, which many people have seen. But that's cool, because sometimes I'm great. And that's good enough sometimes.